Okay, just while waiting around outside the Mages Guild, we got a courier arrive. It's just a note comes up saying the courier delivers you a letter, and we have to check our clothing and misc for this. So we've got a parchment, and we can. That surrounding green says, "Dear Cat the Elf, I heard about your accident at sea. Feared the worst. I wanted to discuss our beloved Emperor's mission in Iliac Bay. I'm Lady Magnuson, the Emperor's agent in Court of Daggerfall. My position is not as official as ambassador, but none but the other agents of the Emperor know of my true affiliation. Iliac Bay is full of rife with rebels against the Imperial throne, so your discretion is required. I am going to the Fox and Ogre Inn, and that's where I need to go." So, that courier is the courier that we've been waiting for, and we need to go and find where she is. So we need to go to Masterford Court. We will fast travel there. How many kilometers is that away? If we had to walk there, that would take us pretty much about 15 hours to get there. And we need to go to Fox and Ogre in Masterford Court. We're in Masterford Court. Masterford Court just seems like a small town. The Fox and Ogre is going to be a tavern there. And let's check our little locational map. Look at this. This is a tiny place. All these are residential houses. The green marks out the tavern, so we don't need to ask for directions or do anything. And look at how this is really nice. When it snows, you actually get, I don't know what it is it decal or something like that, anyway, that makes everything icy. I hadn't realised that before. In summertime, I wonder if these things disappear. Anyway, this suspicious lady in the furs, that's who we want to speak to. "Ah, thank you for responding to my letter, Cat. I'm Lady Brisienna. Let me bring you to date with the affairs. The spectre of King Lysander haunts the streets of Daggerfall at night. Trying to communicate with him is futile. He'll occasionally moan the word vengeance, but that is the only coherent word I've ever heard him utter. If you're in Daggerfall, do not wander the city at night. You're going to be attacked by his legion of ghosts. Be more gainful to investigate those who might have wronged him. In the manner of the letter, the Imperial's agent says that she's unable to hand-deliver it to the Queen because of the war. Hired a courier instead who delivered the letter in his stead. We don't know anything else about the courier. I'll contact you if any new information should surface. I'm leaving Daggerfall soon. My position here has been compromised. My life's in danger. Do not mention my name in court. You can't anyway, and you can't speak to her ever again." Anyway, she tells you what's up. She tells you first mission, it's Lysander's. He's turned into a vengeful ghost, and there's a legion of ghosts in Daggerfall at night, so don't wander there at night. Second thing is that she knows nothing about the letter that was sent to the Queen of Daggerfall, except that it was delivered by an unknown courier. So she's not very helpful at all. But it's essential to go and visit her. If you don't visit her within the month, if you don't visit her 4 weeks game time, she will disappear and you will no longer be able to finish the game quest. Now, if you want to do all the other quests, the Mages Guild quests, the Thieves Guild quests, well, there are actually Fighters Guild quests, and there's also Knights quests. There's Knights of various places and Priest quests as well, and all these random Merchant quests and Nobleman quests. But you know, if you want to do the main quest, and I've never finished it, you will actually have to meet her up. So she doesn't always appear at this Fox and Ogre Inn. She actually appears in random inns all over the place. You might find her somewhere completely different. You might find her, I think she'll always be in Daggerfall. I think there's several random places where she appears. But if you don't meet her up, you can't finish with the main quest. But she doesn't really tell you where to go. She just tells you it's worthwhile for you to go to Daggerfall. Otherwise I don't know anything. And so we'll type in Daggerfall, and as you can see, it's all towards the south of this enormous area. Of course, this is just one region in this enormous area, and then we end up in Daggerfall. Fortunately, it appears to be dawn, 6:10 at dawn, so dawn elapsed 10 minutes ago, so we're not going to be attacked by legions of ghosts. That was a bit of a risk, but you know, you can quite easily avoid these ghosts. You can't hear them coming, but you can just run. And this is Daggerfall. These orange places that we want to go to are the merchants, and we want to sell off all our armor, of course. Blue places are the churches that we can get. Churches, guilds, and churches. Or churches and cathedrals essentially are guilds anyway. But you know, that's our main quest. So that was a little skip. We're back in the Mages Guild because we've got our main quest, and we haven't really been told anything by Lady Brisienna. She's not really said anything, she's just said something vague to us, because the main quest gets delivered to us by magically appearing in our backpack. You will get a letter in your backpack when you get to level 3. So the next stage is all about getting your character leveled up, and I'm here in the Mages Guild and I'm going to spend all my hard-earned money on spells. Like I'm buying Firestorm right now, and I'm just buying a few more attacking spells. Also quite useful if you want to steal to have it open. Levitate is fairly important as well. Sleep I'm tempted to get, mainly because I'm buying things because I've got so much money, and money in this game weighs you down. Gold actually weighs you down, unless you put everything in a bank. And I think I'm carrying a fair amount of gold that's weighing me down. I'm actually carrying a few letters of credit because I can't actually carry the physical gold myself. So I need to get rid of the gold in some way. And this is why things like mercantile and everything like that, they're not really that useful, because you get so much gold anyway. And the easiest way is just to do Guardian quests at the Mages Guild, and also it's a very handy way to level up as well. There's other ways to kind of cheekily level up. Because we've got spell absorption on us, we can actually go to the spell maker, which we have access to if we're in the Mages Guild, and we can actually set up an area of effect spell that we cast that can actually, we're just buying a few more useful spells here, but we can set up an area of effects spell that damages, it can cause destruction, it can cause restoration, it can cause alteration effects, and that levels up those corresponding little stats. And this is the spell maker over here. We can talk to her, you can get her to make spells even very early on. So you click here, you find what you want to do. You've got all these different options. You can do water breathing, you can make up really weird spells, but you can make up practice spells. You can even identify if you really want, but I don't really know how to use that. Right next to it you can find out, you can do things by touch on the caster only. The practice spell should be area of effect if you've got spell absorption, because if you cast a destruction spell, what happens is that you absorb the magicka, so you get the magicka back from casting that spell, and it doesn't damage you, and you get the effects of casting the spell as well. So you essentially can just keep on rattling off spells at your feet, because the area effect will affect you too, and you'll constantly be able to cast spells to level yourself up, and you can level yourself up really quite quickly doing this way. Although it's a bit of a game exploit, I wouldn't say it was a cheat. I think again this is a Bethesda did think, oh, it's really cool to make these customizable spells, but you can really actually make them immensely powerful. I'm going to set myself up a nice water breathing spell here. As you can see, as we just changed the duration and per level, then we can actually set up exactly how powerful our spell needs to be. You can always go back and edit everything if you're not happy. You can delete extra functions. Casting cost at the moment is 36, that's our level currently. We've got tons more magicka than that, so we can boost that all the way up, and we can increase the duration per level as well. So if we're level 2 at the moment, that will give us 20 plus 20 to 40, about 20 to 40 seconds underwater breathing, which is pretty handy. I mean, there's not many objectives that you have to find when you're underwater, but if you're dungeon questing, then it's quite a useful spell to have. But this is the best place for you to get practice spells. You can pretty much level up all your magicka skills, so you can become this awesome mage. You can get like 50, 60 points, and well, you can basically get 1 point on your destruction alteration by just rapidly mashing the cast and recast button, and you can pretty much get a level up in about a level up of the destruction in 10 seconds, 10-20 seconds of doing that just before you fast travel or just before you go and rest. But this is a very handy way of improving. You can also go and talk to this guy if you want to get experience on fighting and things like that. You can just keep on asking for the quests, and there's loads of quests. There's lots of quests where you have to grab a saint's hair. That's a dungeon questing. That takes a long time to do, so we'll ignore that. This one's going to kill an Atronach in a dungeon, so it's dungeoning again. Casting the spell Sleep. It sounds like it's really easy to do, but what you need to do is you need to actually go and find this woman and cast it on her, and then she just goes to sleep. But it's quite a difficult quest. Are you Cat the Elf? This one's, if you actually reply yes to Are you Cat the Elf, we'll accept this quest. But if you reply yes to Are you Cat the Apprentice, then he sends some guards after you, which is very nice. But we've accepted a quest where we basically have to guard someone sleeping, and this is the easiest quest of them all, of course, because you get tons of gold. And I'll just show you how much gold you can actually get through doing this. You can look, there's some enemies, and there's 3 of them all lined up. If you line up, well, we just died here, but fortunately this is why we load, this is why we save the game. But you normally get these 3 enemies coming at you in one single block, so you actually hit all 3 of them in one swing of your sword. I mean, it's quite handy to cast a shield spell. I mean, I cast that shield spell a bit preemptively because we need to loiter around, and obviously by the time we loiter around, then the shield will have disappeared. If you look at the top left, our shield has disappeared. Yep, and look at this. So we can just let's just chop these guys down. You chop these night blades. And look at that, we've just swept these night blades aside. And we've got 3 bundles of loot down here. They've even got dwarven weapons. I mean, we can't use that. It would be nice to have it, but dwarven, I don't think that actually is good enough for damaging werewolves. And we can just grab all this stuff, stick it in our wagon. That's one guy. And this is this basically makes the dungeon come to us. We can pick up all kinds of useful gear. And roughly speaking, depending on your mercantile skill, of course you can also pick up a charm spell to boost your mercantile and boost your personality, so you can get more gold. But depending on the level, I mean, I'm level 2 right now, level 1 or 2, and each one of these quests will roughly get me 2,000 to 4,000 gold, and that's just level 2. And obviously as your level goes up, you'll be getting more valuable gear, because these NPCs will have more valuable gear. They'll start having, instead of dwarven and steel and iron weapons, they'll start having elven, even mithril and ebony weapons, because everything just levels up like that. And as it goes up, you'll be getting from level 3 perhaps 5,000, and level 4 6,000, and that is a tremendous amount of gold compared to what they offer you in the missions. The missions basically will give you about 200, each level you'll get about 100 gold roughly, so at level 5 you might get 500 gold. And of course most of your money will come from loot, but that's really difficult to get. You have to go to and fro and put it in back in your wagon, and then it's very time consuming. This is not a time consuming way to do it. You can get money really quickly. We're just checking if these bodies have any treasure. Obviously not, but we can get not only the gold from as a reward for guarding this guy. Normally we get a decent amount of treasure. Let's see what we get. We just wait here. Then a young woman bows and she gives us a amazing bracelet. That's worth 1,025. We won't be able to sell it for that much. We can probably sell it for about 300 or 400, but that's so much more worthwhile than the go and pick up a nymph hair from this dungeon, and I'll give you 200, 300 gold for. First of all, the travelling costs will cost you about 20 or 30 gold, and plus it's going to be extremely time consuming. Of course, if you like dungeon crawling in Daggerfall, I suppose this is the entire game, then you'll be quite happy to do it. But after a while, really, dungeon crawling sucks, and you really just want to have the dungeon crawling for the main quest. The main quest dungeons are well designed. You don't get so many glitches. You don't end up going several thousand miles underground to get a really low value substance. And you know, they are actually intelligent. You can, there's like the Privateer's Hill, there's that trigger to kind of shortcut your way through. They're kind of cleverly designed, the actual main quest dungeons. And we're just going to go into this armory shop over here. It's a sturdy shelf, so it's a kind of an average shop. But we don't care. If you can find a rusty relic shop, obviously you get a lot more for it. But look how much gold we'll get. We'll start selling everything off. All this one. Is that my silver sword? That's my silver sword. We don't want to sell that. So we'll sell the bucklers, all the leather gear, all the chain gear, the helmets. And you can see this is, I've got 31,000 gold already from doing this a couple of times. But we've got 9,000. We can sell this. Everything we've got is worth. We got 4,300 gold from that. Plus we've got that bracer. So we've got around 5,000 gold, and that was for no hassle.